Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to the Soulfire Sunday podcast on the Sex and Suicide Podcast Network, I guess. I'm here with my buddies. This is Scott Milne. He's an IFBB pro. This is Paulie O'Byrne. He is the founder of 1 and 5. And typically, we go through a 15-week journey exploring cognitive behavioral therapy. Tonight, we're just going to free flow kind of thing and talk about. This is the first time we've all been together in a few weeks. We got our nice shirts on, right? First time ever. This is supposed to happen, like, literally by podcast number 1 or 2. But hey, better late than never. Right? It happened. Yeah, it happened. I think tonight, there's one thing that I want to talk about in specific, but why don't you guys tell me about how your week has been? And since the last time I saw you, Scotty, what have you been up to?
Yeah, how's your week?
Yeah, been gone for a couple weekends, just car trouble and some massive headache last weekend.
Yeah.
Just busy working and busy getting me home ready to sell, which is a lot of work.
It is, absolutely.
Like,
how are
grateful
you
for my parents.
Yeah. How Okay. How are you finding the program so far? Any anxiety, any depression come up over the last? It's got to be stressful getting your house ready.
Yeah.
Did any of the tools work for you?
Yeah, they did.
Yeah. Which ones were you kind of focusing on? Like breathing or?
It's more like I find now more it's like trying to change my thinking to the affirmations and the positive, like the gratitude list morning and night kind of thing.
Yeah, good for you. So just when you're
trying to focus more on that stuff, like what I'm thankful for, like like the little things instead of always focusing on the bad, the negative, and
right.
Because then it's just like a bad spiral out of control, right?
Right.
And that can be tough, like making those gratitude lists. Because sometimes when you're feeling down, you're like, I'm not grateful for anything.
Yeah.
Sure.
Like some of those days you're like, fuck it, I'm really not grateful for anything. But they can make it, in a like big, situation like moving. Like that's not just a, you know what I mean? You're going out for you're getting a whole house prepared to like sell it, and that's got to be stressful for everyone involved. So for you to make gratitude lists, like that's going above and beyond.
That's considered a stressful event, right?
And it's been emotional too, actually.
Oh, I can imagine there's memories, right?
Well, yeah, good and bad. There's a lot of negative, but it's just, that you bought your house, you're proud, like it was bought for a reason, and then like
right.
And it's not, none of them got it all fixed up. It's like, man,
you don't want to leave.
But they did everything you wanted to.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. Yeah,
it's just like, it's a home. Like, I don't know.
I wonder how
you own it. Like I don't know. It's hard. I have trouble letting go. Right?
Yeah, that's okay, man. That's being in the real estate industry. You see that all the time.
Yeah,
it's funny because people
on, because I don't know.
Yeah, absolutely. But when you get it ready to sell, you get all those tips like, oh, you should paint, you should get new carpet.
Yeah.
You do all these things ready to get the property on the market, and meanwhile you're looking at this place like, man, this is a nice house. I'd actually live here now, right?
Yeah.
But good for you. You'll be able to let that go and move on to the next chapter.
Sure. Just looking where to live. It's going to be different.
Yeah, but you're feeling good?
Yeah.
Feeling pumped up?
Yeah.
Awesome. What about you, buddy?
I had a kind of a relaxing week. I spent my time with my girlfriend this week. And,
yeah?
Just kind of relaxed a little bit. I'm getting...
No talks for a bit?
Pardon me?
No talks
No, I struggle a little bit in August and September, so I'm not talking so much. Just I kind of make September and August are tough months, I think, in general for me, right? So I just gotta not talk or not book anything in September and August. And I have a bunch of stuff coming up for Recovery Day in London here, and then I'm doing Recovery Day in Chatham again this year in September. So that's like a national thing about recovery from addiction and alcoholism. So it's just kind of a new event that's kind of gone across Canada, which is a really cool thing. Econoline Crush, do you remember that band, Econoline Crush?
Yeah.
They're playing like free shows at all the recovery days, like BC and Saskatchewan and stuff like that. So they're playing here. I think it's September 17th. I think that happens here. So it's a really cool event. I'm going to be speaking of that. But yeah, I don't really speak too much in August. I think it's important for me to take some self-care time and relax. Because I do a ton of speaking like in the spring and not... This year I spoke over 50 times in 2 months, and
that's a lot.
It takes a lot out of you, right?
And so
I just want to be me, and I think that's like important for me to just be me for a little bit and go to the beach and play some baseball and getting all geared up for a hockey season here coming up, which is
you love that.
I love it, but it's getting nerve-wracking because I'm so passionate about it. So like I want these kids to do so well, and I want them to be so successful. So I put that pressure on myself, and we're going to Boston in a few weeks here for a tournament, and I'm so scared that we're not going to do well, but I really want to do well, so we're just kind of going through the motions of like implementing some stuff right now in our skates, and so I'm excited. I love it. I love what I do. I love being a hockey coach. It's just I put that pressure on myself, right? Because I hate losing and I like winning, and it's just kind of the competitiveness in me. So
has being back on the ice helped with your little bit of anxiety? Yeah, it has.
Yeah, for sure it has. But like I think, hockey for me is a lot more than just the sport, right? Like it was taken from me in my life, and I got it back, and I'm never letting it go ever again.
Right. It's almost like
a piece of serenity for me.
Exactly.
Like I don't think about the things that I've been through. I don't think about the president of minor hockey who did whatever to me when I was younger. I just think about like that I can have a little bit of power in hockey, and I'm not going to let what's happened to me in hockey affect what I am. That person is a terrible representative of hockey, and I shouldn't associate them with hockey, right? There's good people in hockey and good people in sport, and they're not all monsters like this person was. So I think being out on the ice is just like getting power back.
Yeah.
And I tend to know that I can do that and not feel shamed or stigmatized, or that someone has ulterior motives when it comes to hockey, right? Yeah. So it's a lot more personal than it is for, I think, a lot of people in hockey. It's not just opening a bench and putting pucks in the corner. It's something that makes me feel like I have purpose and what I've worked for. So, and I believe I'm pretty confident that I'm a good hockey coach. I got a few championships now. So
good for you, man. That's amazing.
4 championships in 6 years. So hopefully we can.
That's really good, dude.
5 and 7 this year.
Good.
Nice.
Good, man. Well, hearing that cheers me up.
Thanks.
Lately I've been having, like today especially, I kind of felt like we're sitting here, and I don't think people understand that we're kind of like, it's a big commitment, and I'm proud of you guys for making this commitment as often as we have. I mean, 15 weeks, some weeks we've had to cancel, whether that's because even we all need a break sometimes. 15 weeks straight is a lot to do. But I'm also, I'm going to read you guys something, and this really put me into a little bit of a spiral, wondering if what we're doing, either we need more of it, or is it even effective? Is it even doing anything? And it's one of those things that popped up on my news feed as of August 18th. So this is a CBC article, and this happened in London, Ontario. So for those of you that are tuning in, we are located in London, Ontario. And the title is Wanton and Reckless Disregard, Woman's Family Sues London Hospital Doctors. Jennifer Watt, 20, died after living with mental illness and visiting the LHSC several times before her death. The family of Jennifer Watt, a young woman who struggled with mental illness, is suing the London Health Sciences Centre and doctors and nurses involved in her care. So here's the start of the article. In the last 11 days of Jennifer Watt's life, she tried to kill herself 3 times. The 20-year-old was rushed to the hospital 3 times and discharged each time. Now the London woman's family is suing the London Health Sciences Centre and the doctors and nurses involved in her care. Jennifer spoke out herself when she was able about trying to get better care and processes for people with mental health issues, and her mom wants to continue that purpose in the hopes that nothing like this will happen again, said Mary Grosso, the lawyer representing Jennifer Watt's mother and sister. The statements in the lawsuit have not been tested in court. Statements of defense have not been filed. But lawyers for doctors, nurses in the hospital have filed papers with the court stating their intent to defend. A dozen doctors were named in the lawsuit. The lawsuit names 12 doctors as well as unnamed doctors and nurses and other staff who handled Watt's care from March 18, 2015 until June 8, 2015. So you're right, it was a little while ago, but this just shows, I mean, the level of care Jennifer Watt got fell below the reasonable treatment, Grosso said. And we've seen more of this year, right? If the doctors, nurses, and or staff at LHSC had taken reasonable steps to keep Jennifer safe, to properly monitor her and stabilize and treat her in a timely way, Jennifer would not have reached a medical state which caused her to take her own life, states the lawsuit, which is seeking $450,000 in damages. Watt's plight was well known to Londoners. Her story appeared in the London Free Press after she would call the newspaper to detail overcrowding and lack of adequate care for the mentally ill. Watt had a mood disorder, borderline personality disorder, depression, and anxiety, the lawsuit claims. So obviously, we're not mental health professionals, but that's not something that we could comment on even.
Right.
But anxiety and depression are something that we can kind of relate to. Her condition started to deteriorate around March 18th of that year after a period of stability. So this was 2015 then that this happened. Over the next 3 months, she was in and out of hospital and tried to end her life several times. The lawsuit details Jennifer's numerous encounters with doctors who discharged her and her mother's battle to keep her admitted. The doctors, nurses, and hospital were negligent in their care and treatment of Watt, the lawsuit claims.
I believe the law says that if someone tries to take their life by suicide, in their admitted, they have to stay for a week.
That's what it's supposed to be.
Well,
Right?
a form 1 is 72 hours. That's your police taking away your rights for 72 hours. But
Right.
if there is an attempt, you have to stay in for a week. It's 7 days, isn't it? Or something like that.
If you're positive, so clearly there was, there was mistreatment going on.
Also with that though, I've been in the psychiatric ward for even having a plan, telling them what I was going to do, and go through that whole process of the intake of going into a psychiatric ward, and then getting up there and getting a little bit freaked out.
Yeah.
Thinking, I got to drink, they don't serve liquor here. I got to use, they don't serve cocaine here.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell these doctors what they want to hear, and they let me go.
Right.
Really, ultimately, that's what I did, and that never kept me safe, right?
Right.
But I was sick.
Yeah,
Ultimately,
right.
and
Yeah.
I shouldn't be able to tell a person that, while I'm sick in a psychiatric ward, I'm just having a bad day.
Manipulate him.
That's all it is. It's manipulation in a system. He should have known this person's mentally ill. Just tell me what he wants to hear.
That doctor or whoever was treating, it sounds like quite a few. The hospital didn't provide a proper standard of care, exercise reasonable skill in her treatment, or recognize the signs and symptoms that indicated she would end her life. The document states, doctors and nurses didn't follow proper procedures, order appropriate tests, seek medical history, or order appropriate follow-up according to the lawsuit. They knew or ought to have known there existed a high degree of risk of suicide and failed to take adequate measures to ensure Jennifer's safety. The lawsuit alleges. Yeah, that's a lot. Yeah. The conduct of the defense constitutes a wanton and reckless disregard for safety of Watt, according to court documents. So here's the timeline. This timeline is constructed from statement of claim filed with court as not being tested in court. So March 18th, 2015, Watt goes to the ER at LHSC because she was feeling suicidal. 2 doctors say she should be admitted, but abandoned that process the same day. She was released without treatment.
Wow.
May 25th, Watt calls her mother in distress, who calls London police. Jennifer Watt is found near comatose behind a variety store. She had taken an overdose of medication. 2:39 a.m., Watt is admitted to the ER and seen by a doctor. 11 a.m., she's assessed, appears drowsy. Watt says she wants to be discharged. 1:55 p.m., she is discharged within 2 hours.
Wow.
Her mother sees her deteriorating. She is incoherent and begins hallucinating, is aggressive and agitated. 4:30 p.m., she is readmitted and stays in the ER overnight. May 26th, she's assessed by a psychiatrist. Watt tells the doctor she doesn't want to have mental health support anymore. She's angry with her mother. 2:56, she's discharged. May 30th, she returns to the ER after 2 suicide attempts. She denies further thoughts of suicide. Watt is discharged with no charges or additions to her treatment. Her resident said she would contact a psychiatrist about Watt's status to request an earlier appointment than the one she had scheduled for June 30th. This was not done, blah, blah, blah. So on June 8th, she takes her life. So basically, between March 18th and June 8th,
Wow.
That's quick.
And there seems to be, so this is a problem. The reason why I'm bringing this up,
Spaced out over a year or 2 years with it.
obviously this is, the reason why this is being rehashed is because they're now suing.
Right.
But clearly, as we've heard over the past year from people that have come on this podcast, there's still a massive problem with overcrowding, with people being released. I mean, how do you guys feel about reading that? I know I felt after reading that, I just kind of thought, well, since we've started doing this, we've lost someone you knew personally to suicide, 2 major singers